Ladies and gentlemen, everyone in between, it all comes down to this. It started all the way back in September, and now it is almost the end of January, and we are down to two teams that represent their respective leagues. One from the backyard, that is Huntstunt and the Mariners, and one from the front yard, that is Killerbat and his Baltimore Orioles. And the best 2 out of 3 to see who is the world champion of BBOL Season 2. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Alex7456 alongside with DLW. We are here to bring you all of the action here at Big City Stadium for Game 1. DLW, how you feeling? Are you ready for this game?
Oh, yeah, I am ready. I hope you are too. And for those of you watching live on Twitch, you can predict who will win, Mariners or Orioles.
This is a big matchup because we know, DL, that the Mariners have the backyard Cy Young winner in Amanda Hellerman, but the front yard has the MVP, the co-MVP, in Pablo Sanchez. So we got two awards winners here going head to head. Good offense versus good defense. It all comes down to this.
Yes, Killerbat Orioles are home today, Big City Stadium. And in some recent playoff games, Bobby Bullgreen has been the opener. Let's see how they open today. And it is Bobby Bullgreen.
Exactly that. Bobby Bullgreen's going to get the start here today. O'Toole batting second. Kay O'Toole's playing third. Batting second and holding first base is Alicia Blakely. O'Toole hits this one into left field. Going over there is left fielder Ruth Prout. She is under it. She makes the catch out number one. Batting third and playing catcher is Larry Walker. Batting fourth is PJ Sharif at second base. Batting five is Jordan Thorner, I believe his last name is. He's running shortstop. Batting sixth and playing right field is Arlene Perez. Batting seventh is Wing Kwan in center. Over in left, batting eighth is Stephanie Morgan. And batting ninth, the starting pitcher, Amanda Hellerman. Here's Blakely. 1-1 count now. Bobby Bullgreen on the mound for the Orioles. Looking at ball two. Bullgreen tends to start these games, but he does not finish them. The Orioles pitcher currently resides at first base, and that is Frank Thomas. Looking at ball three now to Alicia Blakely.
Bullgreen in limited action during the regular season, 0 ERA, only faced 10 batters. Faced quite a few more in the postseason. Got Blakely at the plate, full count.
Grounder over to the first base side. Thomas is going to run over there. It's just barely foul. Still 3-2.
Alicia Blakely, 444 during the season. 1 home run, 8 RBIs. Leadoff hitter Kay O'Toole, 500 hitter. 1 home run, 2 RBIs.
Blakely is still alive here in the count. Payoff is fouled back. The Orioles lineup is as follows. Jane Davis over in center will lead things off. Sanchez will be his second base. You see him over there at shortstop. Second at bat, excuse me. Cheryl Reynolds is the cleanup hitter at third base. A liner straight to Pablo Sanchez off of Sanchez's head. Throw to first. Just in time. There's Cheryl Reynolds with that wonderful arm of hers. That is a 98 level arm. And here comes Larry Walker now to the plate. Batting fourth for the Orioles and helming second base is Gary Allen. Batting fifth is Bobby Bullgreen, the current pitcher. Batting sixth is Frank Thomas at first. Ruth Prout is seventh. She is in left field. And right field is Cindy Chang. She bats eighth. And rounding it out at catcher, Serena DeMonte. Larry Walker now, a 1-1 count. Looks set strike two. 1-2 pitch now. Grounded. Bobby Bullgreen. Oh, it goes by Bobby Bullgreen, and Walker is safe at first base. So, we have our first hit of the game. Larry Walker's going to second. Slides into second, and he makes it. I have never seen that. Larry Walker going to second right in front of the pitcher's face as he catches the ball to go back to pitch. That is some smart base running from Huntstunt. Here comes PJ Sharif with runners in scoring position. Looks at strike one, low inside.
Bit of miscommunication between Bullgreen and Thomas and who was going to get the ball. Neither of them got it. And as they were still arguing, Walker was able to run into second, get there easily.
A good slide there by Walker as well. As PJ Sharif fouls this one to the left side. It's 0-2 now. Bullgreen. Looking at strike three in that high inside corner, and that will put the Orioles up to bet. So at the end of half an inning, Mariners 0, Orioles coming right up. And there she is, Amanda Hellerman. 94 strikeouts in the regular season, currently 46 strikeouts in the postseason. For those keeping track, that is a grand total of 140 strikeouts. Jane Davis is looking to shake up Hellerman here. She has been doing pretty well offensively. Ball two. Good eye there by Davis.
Bit of an overshift for the left-handed hitting Davis.
Hellerman. That's strike one.
Davis during the season, 471 average, 2 home runs, 4 RBI.
That one's popped up. Larry Walker. Under it. And catch. One away. Here comes Pablo Sanchez. Sanchez, of course, the co-MVP alongside Jose Canseco in the front yard. Sanchez.
Yes, during the regular season, 10 home runs, 17 RBI, 625 average. As you see the Mariners making a defensive switch, Morgan goes to left field now.
Hellerman. Here's the pitch. Looking at ball one. Hellerman's got some good hooks. Some very good hooks. Watch this one. That one's a little outside. Ball two.
Hellerman, the Cy Young of her league, 132 ERA this season, pitched every pitch thus far for the Mariners.
Pablo Sanchez looks at strike one. It's 2-1 now to the co-MVP. He's going to look at ball three. 3-1 now to Sanchez.
Sanchez walked 3 times during the regular season.
Killerbat looking at his lineup here, making some strategy moves, making some big brain moments. Hellerman. The 3-1 pitch. Here it comes. A fastball is going to be popped up. Walker's going to try and catch this one. It's a very high pop-up. Watch out, Hellerman. And Larry Walker makes the catch for out number 2. Good high IQ play by Walker to get out of the way and then back into play to make the catch. So far, Walker's done all the defense for the Mariners. Here comes Cheryl Reynolds. Reynolds, much like Davis, was an acquisition halfway through the season for the Orioles.
Yes, in 5 games, 588 average, 4 home runs, 8 RBI during the season.
Reynolds is going to ground this one to KO. Tool throw to first. And so not much damage here in the first inning for either team. The Mariners do get one hit, and they are coming back up to plate. Here's Jordan Thorner. Now Thomas is back on the mound.
Frank Thomas. The big hurt. 151 ERA during the regular season. Jordan tried the bulk of the games here.
Jordan tried to bunt here, couldn't quite get the ball on the bat on the ball, excuse me. Fouls this one back, and now it is 0-2. Yes, Thomas had 57 strikeouts out of 635 pitches pitched in the regular season. 431 of them were strikes. Out of 442 pitches pitched in the postseason, 279 were strikes. And he strikes out Thorner right here. That is one away now in the top of the second. That is his 39th strikeout this postseason. Here's Arlene Perez.
Thorner had a 441 average this season. Arlene Perez with a 400 average herself. Very good hitters on this Mariners team.
All right, hook is outside for ball one. Yes, some very talented hitters on this team. Perez was likewise to Davis And Reynolds, a mid-season acquisition for huntstunt, as she grounds out to the third base side. That's 2 away now from the Mariners. Here comes Wing Kwan, who's been on the team the entire time.
Yes, he had a 313 average this season. Team average for the Mariners, 382.
Not that much of a hitting squad. Larry Walker did most of the damage for him with 3 homers and 6 RBIs and a 5.38 average. Wing Kwang's going to bunt this one. And he's on his way to first. He's a quickster. Throw to first. And he's in there. And Bobby Bullgreen drops it. And Wing Kwan's going to go into second. Now he's going to third. He's going to easily make third. Gonna throw it home. Are they going to make it? Are they going to make it? Nope. Wing Kwan's going back to third. And he's going home. And he's going back to third. He's just taunting Serena Damonte over here. So Wing Kwan is on with a triple on an error by Bobby Bullgreen. Here's Stephanie Morgan with 2 outs and runners in scoring position.
Morgan had a 424 average this season, drove in 3 runs. Aggressive base running thus far for the Mariners. We saw Larry Walker basically steal second while the ball was in the hands of Bullgreen.
Bullgreen had a little miscommunication with Thomas. Morgan's going to slap this one into center field. Pablo Sanchez off of his head. That will score a run for the Mariners. It's 1-0. Oof. A little bit of defensive struggles here for the Orioles, which they are not strangers to. Here comes Hellerman. Hellerman is not a hitter. She's definitely a hurler. He's going to foul this one back. Morgan's going to steal, and she will steal. Easy stolen base there for Stephanie Morgan. Runners in scoring position now with 2 away.
Now, Stephanie Morgan did not have a stolen base during the regular season.
Well, there you go. Looks at ball 1. Hellerman was able to drive in a run this regular season, even though she only had 3 hits out of the 32 at-bats she had. Now they're going to call a timeout.
Now, one of the problems with the Orioles is they do not have too many tall players.
Yeah, Thomas is the tallest one out there.
After Frank Thomas, it's Cheryl Reynolds, and everybody else is only 2 or less height. Bullgreen back on the mound to face Hellerman.
Outside ball 2.
So Cheryl Reynolds usually plays third base. And then it's Frank Thomas. If he's on the mound, he can't be the first baseman.
Swing and a miss from Hellerman. That is strike 3, and the Orioles are coming to the bat. But not without a little bit of damage from the Mariners with that crazy base running, from Wing Kwan. It's 1-0. As we enter the bottom half of the second inning, here comes Gary Allen.
Allen had a 424 average this season, 3 home runs, 6 RBI.
Ball 1 to Gary Allen.
Late pick in the draft, but has shown power.
Strike 1 now to Gary Allen. Yeah, Allen was able to do a good chunk. He got a 424 average, even though he was picked in the 8th round by Killerbat. He was able to show off 14 hits, 9 of them singles, 2 of them double baggers, and 3 of them round trips. Hellerman now. Thinking. Fires away. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Gary Allen is out. That is Hellerman's first strikeout of the World Series. And here comes Bobby Bullgreen. Bullgreen, another mid-season acquisition for the Orioles. I believe he took the place of Mandy Coolidge, who was their previous reliever. Looking at strike 1. Didn't do too much damage on the offensive side, though. He only had 3 hits in the regular season. Looking at strike 2. Well placed hook there by Amanda Hellerman. Ooh, barely outside for ball 2. Hellerman now going for the heat. Swinging a hit over to left field by Bullgreen. That's going to drop for a base hit. Morgan's going to try and dive on it. Can't quite do it. Bullgreen thinks about second. Decides, nah, I'm going to stay here. Oh! Hellerman falls over. That one's going to go in the dugout. The throw over by Alicia Blakely, and Bullgreen is in there for a double on a throwing. I don't know who that was on it. That was definitely on Hellerman for falling over and just ducking from that throw there by the shortstop. The shortstop, Jordan Thorner. And here's Frank Thomas.
Big hurt at the plate this season, 346 average, 2 home runs, 5 RBI.
Looking at strike 2 there. A really well-placed hook there by Hellerman. Thomas. Here's the pitch. Outside ball 1. Ground to foul. Thomas drove in 5. Only had 9 hits. Thomas, one of the all-time great White Sox players in recent memory. And in this game, swing and a miss. Strike 3. In this game, not necessarily as dominant as he was in real life.
Well, what about White Sox legend Ken Griffey Jr.?
This is true. Ken Griffey Jr. did play for the White Sox. Here's Ruth Prout. Looking at strike 1.
Ruth Prout, the left fielder, 192 average this season. No extra base hits.
Outfield has stage shifted to right field. Prout's gonna swing and miss. I believe that's strike 3. Is that strike 3? Yes, it is. Strike 3. So that's 3 strikeouts for Amanda Hellerman as we go to the top of the 3rd. The score remains 1-0 Mariners. K.O. Toole now going to come to the bat.
So we've seen runners move up due to fielding mishaps. So far, the Mariners were able to take care of 1 and bring a runner home.
K.O. Toole looking at 2 straight balls in 2 very similarly placed pitches. She's going to swing at this one, but foul it back. It's 2-1.
Looking at our Twitch prediction, 74% of the channel points are on the Mariners today. To the 26% with the Orioles.
They got a really good pitcher and some really solid defense, plus some very gutsy base runners.
Full count now to O'Toole.
Gonna bloop this one over to Bullgreen, who drops it. Another defensive struggle there for the Orioles as O'Toole makes it onto first with no outs. Here's Alicia Blakely. Here's a pitch from Bullgreen's going to look at ball 1. K.O. Toole is going to go to second base, and whoa, that ball goes out into the outfield. O'Toole is going to make it safely into second.
Errant throw there by DeMonte, possibly aimed at the wrong fielder. Sanchez was the one covering second. Should know to just throw it straight on.
Ball 2 now to Alicia Blakely, now with runners in scoring position. The Orioles having a little bit of a choke fest there on the defensive side.
Now, the Mariners have not lost a game this postseason. 3 out of 4 of their games this postseason have been won by a score of 1-0. That's the score right now.
So if you don't see any runs happen after this, do not be surprised. But that doesn't mean the Mariners won't try to get some more insurance runs. Pitch from Bullgreen. Looking low for ball 3. 3-2 now to Alicia Blakely. Bull Green looks in. The 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. With that, Blakely and O'Toole are going to move to second and third. As part of BBOL rules, a walk equals 2 bases. So Larry Walker, dangerous hitter here for the Mariners, as O'Toole and Blakely go to scoring position. There is the first ball. Watch as DeMonte just takes a little jog over to the pitcher's mound. That way the AI doesn't make her throw one of these guys out. Walker now. Grounds a foul. 1-1.
Walker had 3 home runs this season, 6 RBIs, 538 average.
Walker's going to slap this one into right field. And it is, nope, it is going to be dropped by Cindy Chang. And now it is 2-0 Mariners. Alicia Blakely is going to try and score. And she goes back to third. And she goes home. And she goes back to third. And she goes home. And they get her at home. But Larry Walker is going to go into scoring position now. He takes advantage of their little rundown there. And he moves into second base. Now here comes PJ Sharif. Sharif had only 1 RBI in the regular season. Swing and a miss, strike 1.
Sharif was a midseason acquisition for the Mariners. 353 average in just 5 games.
Sharif has 4 hits thus far this postseason. Bullgreen now. Looking at ball 1. 1-2 now. The PJ Sharif, who struck out his first time up. And he strikes out now. That is Bobby Bullgreen's 3rd strikeout this game. 2 away now for the Orioles. Here comes Jordan Thorner.
We've seen Bullgreen's up to 40 pitches now. More pitches than he usually throws. We see Frank Thomas usually take the bulk of this game, and Bullgreen's been pitching most of it thus far.
Looking at ball 1, Jordan Thorner is a single machine. 13 out of his 14 hits in the regular season were one-baggers. Ball 2. Struck out his first time out. Here's a 2-1. Swing, fouled back. Bullgreen now. The 2-2 pitch with 2 outs. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. 4 strikeouts for Bobby Bullgreen. What an outing here thus far. The Orioles got to light those bats up here pretty soon because now it is 2-0 Mariners. Going now to the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Here comes Cindy Chang. Chang is not that good of a hitter. We just all accept that.
3 for 25 this season, all singles.
That's an ant killer that will go foul. And strike 2. Well placed left hook there from Amanda Hellerman. Gonna go for the exact same pitch. Chang's gonna ground this one. It is foul. Now, Chang, whatever Chang lacks in batting, she makes up for in speed. She's a 7 out of 9 hitter, which is really fast. Ball 1. So if Chang hits one, that's relatively in the gap. She might be able to get on base. We just need to see what happens here. The 2-2 pitch to Cindy Chang. Strike 3 called. That is Hellerman's 4th strikeout today. That is 4 strikeouts out of 7 outs thus far. Now here's Serena DeMonte. DeMonte was the 9th rounder for the Orioles. She was their catcher pick. As she pops up to Hellerman, out number 2. But here comes Jane Davis. Davis has been doing fantastic during the postseason. She's hit a grand total of 3 home runs, 5 RBIs, a total batting average of 333. Davis is going to watch high and inside, ball 1.
We saw Stephanie Morgan move to right field where she started the game. She moved to left field after the first batter. It seems that put in that place for a Jane Davis fly ball to the outfield.
Davis looks at strike 2. Questionable call there by Clanky, but the way the physics work, that's just how it is. Ball 2. 2-2 with 2 outs. 2-0. Bottom of the 3rd. The 2-2 pitch is swung on and popped up. Blakely's under it. Hellerman is under it. Who's going to catch it? It's Hellerman, and that's out number 3. So, halfway through the game now, and we have a 2-0 ball game. Mariners coming up to the plate. Here's Arlene Perez. Look at that, strike 1. Swings a little bit late. Gets a little practice swing in there. It always helps to make sure your swing isn't broken. Strike 2. That one was unhittable.
Bulgari
So
looking
Bobby
to paint those
Bulgreen.
corners.
Yes, very much so. That one's a little too inside. So 1-2. Outside, ball 2. 2-2 now. Bulgreen's really loving that hook. He's going to do that hook again. Outside, ball 3. Bulgreen doesn't want to walk too many people now. But he does. That's ball 4, his second walk of the game. So Perez is on first to lead things off. Perez, not the fastest, but definitely fast. This team is all relatively fast. There is not a single person on the Mariners team that has less than 5 speed. Wing Quan, one of the faster ones, has 7 speed. As you see, Perez. Excuse me, is that Perez or Hellerman?
That's Perez.
That's Perez.
Perez
All right.
moves to second.
That's right. Quan at the plate, tripled his last time. That crazy Wing Quan-esque base running. Bulgreen. Quan's going to look to bunt. Doesn't get by him. 2-1.
I believe Wing Quan bunted for a triple last time.
Really relying on that bunt here. Now he's going to take a practice swing as he looks at strike 2. Bulgreen. Wing Quan grounds it. Throw to first. It's a little bit of a not the best throw. Perez is going to make it into third base. Runners at the corners now with no one out. There's that dangerous Mariners base running that we all love to see. Now Stephanie Morgan drove in Quan her last time up.
Also stole a base earlier.
Something that she did not do in the regular season. Strike 1. Bulgreen
Mariners
now.
Team is aggressive on the base paths today. We've said it many times.
And it has definitely paid off for them. 1-1 now to Stephanie Morgan as you watch a high inside fastball. That is not a fastball at all. That was a right hook. Here's a left hook now. Morgan tries to bunt, gets past her. Quan's going to continue to go to second, and for the sake of Arlene Perez not stealing home, they decide not to throw him down. So 1-2 now. Stephanie Morgan, timeout called.
Could be a pitching change. Maybe Frank Thomas back on the hill.
That is exactly what happened. It's like you can read the future or something like that. That's crazy. Morgan, looking at ball 2. She's going to slap this one over in the direction of Pablo Sanchez. Is Sanchez going to catch it? He will. Out number 1. Here comes Amanda Hellerman.
Looked like Jane Davis moved to first base. Bullgreen out in center.
Hellerman's going to foul this one back. Strike one.
Now, Bullgreen not used to pitching this much, so maybe he's running out of juice and had to bring in a big hurt.
Well, Bold Green does have good stamina, an 83 stamina, according to the stat sheet here. But Thomas has 100 stamina, and he has a better right hook. Looking at ball two with that aforementioned right hook.
Can't find the zone, but Hellerman's got one of the larger zones in the league.
Fouls it back. Still 2-2. It's not a double play threat because runners are in scoring position and there's no one on first. It's going to slap that one in the direction of Sanchez, who fields it, throw to first, and Davis drops it. It is 3-0 Mariners. Wing Quan's going to go. No, he's not going to go to third. Goes back to second, taunts him a little bit. Now here comes K.O. Toole. Low ball one. There they go. The heck is going on here?
Well, Hellerman went to second, which forces Quan to go to third. Quan's caught in a rundown.
Yeah, Quan gets out over at third base. But Hellerman stays at second. K.O. Toole looks at ball two. So 2-0 now for K.O. Toole. Two away here in the top of the fourth. Thomas is going to throw that one low. Ball three. Thomas did not have a walk in the regular season, but he did have 6 in the postseason. O'Toole's just going to slap that one over to Pablo Sanchez. Throw to first in time for out number 3. So another run comes in for the Mariners. It's 3-0. That's 3 straight innings with 1 run that the Mariners have had this game. But look who's coming up for the Orioles. A power 3, Pablo Sanchez, Cheryl Reynolds, and Gary Allen.
What a top of the order that Killerbat has on these Orioles. As Morgan moves back into left field, where she plays against most batters, including Pablo Sanchez.
That might be hittable. It was not. Strike one.
Now, we've seen the Mariners be aggressive on the base paths. I wonder if part of the strategy is to avoid getting into a double play and giving the Orioles that very important hitting power up.
Pablo Sanchez fouls that back. Yeah, that is another big thing, is that you are allowed to use power-ups in this league, but you're only allowed to use it once during the first 6 innings, and then every inning after that, you can use it once per inning. Ball 2. 2-2 now to Pablo Sanchez. So getting a power-up in this league, very crucial. The 2-2 pitch. Looking at strike 3. That's Hellerman's 5th strikeout today. Sanchez only struck out 3 times in the regular season. Here comes Cheryl Reynolds. Cheryl Reynolds. I saw the CH there and I was like, yes, chair. Like a chair that you sit in. That's not at all what it is. Ball 1.
Cheryl Reynolds is up. She plays third base.
Reynolds looking to hit one over to left field. Swings and misses at strike 1. Reynolds looks at strike 2. These are really, really, really hard to hit. And Amanda Hellerman is taking very good advantage of that spot. Cheryl's going to ground this one. That's going to be foul. Walker dives on top of it, but by that point, it crossed the line. So 2-2 still. Grounds it to the other side now. This one's going to be fair. No, it barely is foul. Reynolds Not necessarily a speedster, but she's not slow either. Pitch from Hellerman. That looks hittable. Swing and a miss. Strike three. It was not hittable at all. So with that, Hellerman has 6 strikeouts. Now here's Gary Allen, who struck out his first time up. High inside, strike one. Hellerman is just showing us the dominance that she has portrayed this entire season. Ball one, outside.
Those nasty left hooks from Hellerman have fooled hitters for quite a few months now.
Strike two. You play Amanda Hellerman, your entire viewpoint on this game changes. For example, I had the Royals and we had like a 5-game winning streak going up to play the Mariners. We did lose a few games before then, but that entire game, there was me before that game, and then there was me after that game as Hellerman strikes out Gary Allen for the second time today. That's 7 so far as we go to the top of the 5th. It is 3-0 Mariners.
I see Freak Show in the chat. Must be pretty excited about that strikeout.
Alicia Blakely now comes to the batter's box. Gonna slap that one down the right field line. It is fair. No, it's foul. It looked like it was fair just barely, but it did cross the line right as it passed first base. Ball one now to Alicia Blakely. Another one down the right field line. This one is foul still. 1-2 now to Blakely, who walked her first time up. Gonna slap this one into center field. No one's in center field. That's gonna be a base hit. Pablo Sanchez tries to dive for it, can't quite get it. This will be a double for Alicia Blakely. This might be a triple. And it will be a triple for Alicia Blakely. Good hit there by Blakely, having them think that they're going to right field. Instead, goes to center where there's absolutely no one there. And here comes Larry Walker now with runners in scoring position. He has 2 doubles thus far. Looking at ball one. Thomas. Throws on a little bit lower, but it's in there for strike one. Freak Show is calling it right here. There's a whole 2 half innings that the Orioles had to catch up.
Well, not if Amanda Hellerman has anything to say about it.
This is true. Strike two. A very, very well placed high inside right hook. Walker's going to slap this one down the right field line, and Davis, it goes off of Davis, but she gets there in time for out number 1. Here comes. Misses the throw. It was a little bit off target. DeMonte had to walk over to try and tag her, but she missed. It is now 4-0. And PJ Sharif now. Low, ball one.
Alicia Blakely just barely got into home before the tag. Now 4-0 Mariners.
Took advantage of Jane Davis's not the best arm as a 31 arm over there. So Jane Davis's first baseman struggles continue this postseason. Sharif now swings and blooped this one over to Sanchez. Will Sanchez get it? Yes, for out number 2. Now here's Jordan Thorner, who struck out twice. Let's see if he's going to bunt here. He will. This one's going to be a bunt. They expected it. Reynolds to first. Out number 3. So that is the 4th straight inning that the Mariners have scored a run in. It is now 4-0. Hellerman has held the Orioles to 1 hit.
I believe they call that the picket fence.
Yes. That's going to be strike 1. Good left hook there from Hellerman. Going to do another one. Bobby Bullgreen now, who doubled his first time up. The sole hit for the Orioles this game. That is strike 3. Bobby Bullgreen strikes out. That's Hellerman's 8th. And here comes Thomas, who also struck out today.
You've seen some issues defensively for the Orioles. That's been a theme if you've watched the Orioles this season. They don't really have a first base option outside of Frank Thomas. So when Frank Thomas is on the hill, sometimes you have Jane Davis, sometimes you have Bobby Bullgreen, and a lot of times you have errors.
It is a huge wild card for the Orioles once Frank Thomas is on the mound. While yes, you have good pitching, if that ball goes into the infield, it'll be a roll of the dice if the first baseman catches it or not. That's strike 3. Thomas swings and misses at that low inside left hook. That is Amanda Hellerman's 9th today. That is 9 strikeouts out of the 14 outs they've gotten thus far. And Ruth Prout.
We're headed towards the bottom of the order for the Orioles.
That means
not who you want to come up in the late innings.
Prout slaps this one over to right. That's foul. 1-1 now to Ruth Prout. Prout can hit the ball. She can't hit it far, but she can sure hit it. So if she grounds it here, she might be able to get on first. There she goes. Walker will not get there in time, and that's a hit for the Orioles. With 2 away here. Cindy Chang's going to come up, but Chang also has some speed in her, even though she's not one of the better hitters. Hellerman, gonna pitch. Strike 1.
Bit of a shift towards the first base side on Cindy Chang.
Low, ball 1. Chang's going to ground this one. Is that foul? I believe it is. So 1-2 now. 2 outs for the Orioles. Here's the pitch. Not even a swing and a miss. I was about to say swing and a miss, but she looked at that one. That looked very hittable, but Cindy Chang decided not to swing. 10 strikeouts for Amanda Hellerman as we enter the top of the 6th. Mariners 4, Orioles nothing.
So it's only 2 hits thus far for the Orioles.
Arlene Perez comes up for the Mariners. Walked today. Thomas, strike 1. Perez will take a little bit of a practice swing there.
I believe it's DeMonte leading off next inning for the Orioles, and then they go to the top with Jane Davis and Pablo Sanchez.
Perez now looking at ball 1. Thomas stays on the mound. Perez looks at ball 2. Another little bit of a hack there. See what happens. Oh, looks at strike 3. That one was very well placed. Those inside corners will really do something to you. It's Thomas's 2nd strikeout of the game. And here's Wing Kwan.
Wing Kwan singled and tripled earlier today.
Kwan's been absolutely taking advantage of his 7 speed with the crazy, crazy base running. The pitch, swing and a miss, strike 2. Thomas now. Looking at ball 1 is Wing Kwan. You probably get a grounder right here. See if you can get on base again. This is going to be a bloop. Davis catches it. 2 away. Here's Stephanie Morgan. Big League Chew, always a classic. Morgan's the baseball player in this game. But if you look at her stats, not necessarily, she can definitely put the bat on the ball, but she can't hit it far. As you see right there, a little nubber over to Frank Thomas. Throw to first. Easy play. And we go to the bottom half of the sixth. So the Orioles down to their final 3 outs of this first game. It is 4-0. Serena DeMonte coming up, but Jane Davis and Pablo Sanchez after that.
Ten strikeouts today for Hellerman and no walks.
Strike one, DeMonte takes a practice swing. Strike two, DeMonte behind in the count, 0-2. Hellerman, the pitch, swings and fouled back. Still 0-2. 79 pitches, Amanda Hellerman. 30 of those 70. Here comes 80. Swing and a grounder over to Alicia Blakely. Gonna pick it up. Step on first for out number 1. Now here comes some hitters for the Orioles. Jane Davis. Timeout now called by the Mariners. Believe there goes that defensive shift again. Morgan going back to right.
So far, Jane Davis hasn't gotten a hit, but I don't think she's hit the ball out to right field, but we'll see if it pays off here.
That's if she can get the bat on the ball. Something that the Orioles have not done a whole lot this game. This one looks to be high and inside. Fouled back. 1-1. Davis has not struck out, which is a good thing because she's been hitting the ball. And there it is again. That one's going to be foul, though. Davis does have some speed. Davis got 7 speed. Low ball 2. That low heater is a hard one. A very hard one. Grounder to the right side. And there's that good defensive shift play by the Mariners. Blakely picks it up and steps on first for out number 2. And here comes Pablo Sanchez. Struck out today. Has not gotten a hit yet. They're going to move Morgan back to left. Yes, they are.
So the last chance here for Killerbat, and it's the not-so-secret weapon, the co-MVP, Pablo Sanchez.
Looks at ball 1. Now, Pablo, this postseason, has been doing all right. 7 hits out of 15 at-bats. Now 7 hits out of 17 at-bats. 1-1 count now. He's going to watch strike 2. This could be the final pitch of the game. Here we go. Hellerman, the pitch. Pop that one up. Jordan Thorner's going to get under it. He is there. He is going to make the catch. And the Mariners win game 1. Final score here at Big City Stadium. Seattle Mariners 4, Baltimore Orioles 0 as Hunt Stunt takes the first game of the series. It's looking like Amanda Hellerman might be in the driver's seat throughout this entire playoffs because that is 10. Give me a second as I go to the playoff stats. That's 56 strikeouts for Amanda Hellerman this postseason.
Hellerman
Plus
was
94. That's 150 strikeouts all together.
Hellerman was very effective this season. Still effective this postseason. Only one game giving up runs. And another shutout tonight, 4-0. For those of you wondering, when is game 2? Game 2
It's tomorrow.
Be tomorrow night at the home of the Mariners, Ekman Acres. Mariners are looking to sweep and win in front of their home fans, Mr. and Mrs. Ekman, I assume.
Of course. And their neighbors. As they are well, if you really A few players of the game here. Obviously, Hellerman is a candidate, but I would say Wing Quan is definitely up there too, because Quan was an absolute menace on the base paths today.
Quan had some wild stuff going to third on a very weak hit, I believe a bunt. Larry Walker stretched a single to a double on a ground ball between the first baseman and the pitcher. Stephanie Morgan stole a base. I'd say the base running of the Mariners was the key today on offense. Not as much the hitting as the base running. And of course, you have Amanda Hellerman only
That
giving
would
up 2
definitely
hits.
help to have one of the better pitchers in the game and using them efficiently and using them wisely with that 100 stamina and that fantastic left hook. So, with that, ends game one. The Mariners take the lead in the series. They have one more game to go, and they might be able to take it home should they win tomorrow night. But the question remains, does Killerbat still have it in him? How will he be able to hit against Hellerman? We will find out tomorrow right here on Backyard Sports Center here on Twitch or on YouTube later on if you're watching later on YouTube. You also catch our streams on, they will be archived on our YouTube channel, Backyard Sports Center. Until then, for everyone here, for DLW, this is Alex7456. We will see you tomorrow.